Cue Dan putting in sleigh bell sounds. A pizza delivery, despelote, and once upon a time in the woods. This is staying in.
Perfect.
Compliments of the season, gents.
Before we splash around Merry Christmases, I just want to acknowledge that we have not acknowledged 2 birthdays that have come and gone. In our half our party, and now in the 40 crew. Won't say who. What are you going to do?
When we come for you?
Bad boys, bad boys. What?
What?
Happy birthday. I just didn't want it to go unacknowledged. We used to sing happy birthday all the time for everyone.
Pete put a stop to that.
And then Pete put a stop to it. And I just want to let everyone know that we are still celebrating, but we're just doing it in our own way.
Yeah, and because Pete's a grouch.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. I think everyone's
Do you sing
fine
happy
with that.
birthday to our Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ on Christmas Day?
I don't know if I do, actually. I don't know. I don't think I ever have.
Has anyone ever sang? It's probably a bit sad, isn't it?
It's a lot of candles.
It's a bit sad. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, and not to be rude, but if Jesus thinks that's the worst thing that's coming to him in his life, there's some bad stuff happening around Easter.
It's difficult to fit all of that in a card, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Watch out.
Watch out.
Pete,
Herod's about.
Pete, can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course you can.
Are you and I technically middle-aged now?
No. Well, according to, I recently played, I know you asked this question for Pete, but I'm just going to jump in because I played Time Flies the other day on recommendation of Daniel Frost, and it's a really, really good game. The life expectancy of the UK is 80.2 years, I think, so technically, yes, you're pretty much bang on.
Right.
Yeah. Great.
Cool.
All right.
So we're at like the peak now, Pete.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all downhill from here.
It's all rapidly. That's exciting.
You can move to Japan and then you've got another, or Sweden, and you've got another couple of years. I'm sure that's how it works.
I'll get on it. I'll be honest. I'm quite liking 40.
Yeah, same. Nice round number.
Nice round number. Doesn't feel like anything's properly breaking at the moment in terms of the body. No, not properly breaking. Not like falling off. Like,
Yeah, well, not internally, yes, but externally, you're all still together.
yeah, exactly. And I think we are part of that generation that, like, we know about all the good things and the bad things for us, and some of us still do some of those bad things, but we try to moderate them quite a lot. And I think we're all conscious of our health and stuff like that. I do think we'll probably have a few more good years in us than people who are sort of maybe 20 years above us, right? Or at least that's the hope. That's the dream I'm clinging on to, basically, of like, I reckon I'll do better than the previous generation, and I'm sure every previous generation said this exact sentence, but that's my hope. So, you got to live to something, haven't you?
Peter Willington still 40 and still bringing the fun.
You've got to live to something.
I thought we'd kick that light and frothy little morsel around a little bit.
Nice.
Can we put that on Pete's headstone? You've got to live to something.
You got to live to something.
Also, this started with us saying, like, happy birthday. And this has now descended to, well, I guess I'll be marginally better than the previous generation.
And also how good he was feeling for being 40. But actually, if you dig beneath the surface, not even that far, there's a little...
Yeah.
Not even that far.
It didn't even need any of us to...
No.
He took us there himself.
Crikey.
Well, yeah.
It's just general stream of consciousness took us there.
Well, we commemorated your birth, not realising it was such a downer, when we all hung out together, didn't we, Gunged In, and we played Pandemic
Legacy
in a weekend.
Yeah, season 1. Boom.
Bearing in mind how long it took Sam and I to do season 1.
That was an exciting time. My conclusion is I still don't like Pandemic, but I really enjoyed the experience of playing a Legacy game in such a short period of time. Like, in kind of the same way that I really like... Hold with me on this one. You know how, like, ages ago we talked about Star Realms, and one of the things I liked about the digital version is that you can play lots and lots and lots of games. It's kind of like Ticket to Ride on the digital version. You can play lots and lots and lots of games, so you kind of understand the mechanics of the game on a deeper level because you've played lots of experiences of it. Pandemic Legacy for me is... I really enjoyed starting to see more of the strategies around it, and I think you get that by just spending, 12 plus hours focused playing the same set of mechanics over and over and over again. And that was really enjoyable, actually, to kind of like see how rigorous those mechanics were. And they are really good. They are, like, it is mechanically a very, very good game. Like, it's a well put together game. And I also really just enjoyed hanging out with you guys and having that experience, and the little memes and fun jokes and stuff that spun out of that experience will stay with me forever. I think it was just such great fun.
Well, at least for the next 20 years or so.
Yeah.
At least.
Unless
you got to believe in something, haven't you?
Yeah. We've spoken about what we did for mine in the summer, which was we played Gibberers, we walked around Snowdonia. Sam and I watched a 4.5 hour opera.
Yeah.
And you guys bought me a whiskey.
We did.
It was the one thing I needed ticking off my list for the things I wanted for my 40th this year. And we delivered a beautiful whiskey, which I'm supping right now.
Can I just say, little peek behind the curtain? When myself, Sam, and Pete, we talked about this. Like, Sam kind of said that that's something that you wanted. Sam was like, the only thing he said he doesn't want is a bourbon. And we're like, okay, right, we'll find a good kind of whiskey shop. And then Sam found a little independent whiskey shop by him. He came over and says, lads, I've done it. I've gone rogue and I've bought it. And he showed us this lovely bottle of bourbon, and we were like, Sam, we knew one thing.
Yeah,
we knew one thing.
Yeah,
and he was like, lads, there was a man inside who...
Was that your subconscious, Sam?
The man in the shop was very convincing.
Yeah, I mean, how did this basically, Sam? The guy saw you coming, right? Like you walked in saying out loud to somebody, "Boy, I sure need to buy a very expensive bottle of whiskey."
The thing that Kris didn't want,
they
didn't have much of in stock.
Right.
So he did a very good job at turning me onto a product which he had quite a lot of in stock at quite premium prices.
It's like that pub we went to for Dan's stag.
And he had a very convincing Scottish accent. And
so he had
that
the credentials.
was a big selling point to me.
Yeah.
And let's give him his name. His name was Nigel, and we chatted for a long time. And
now he's coming for Christmas.
And I wish he knows his onions. And he was able to sell me the benefits of, basically told me why Kris was wrong.
Yeah, I know.
Brilliant. That's great.
Everyone has their preferences. I tend to favour a sweeter whiskey.
Yes,
a smooth whiskey.
You wanted the sweeter side of things.
Yeah.
And he was able to show me the real the benefits and explain the provenance of the whiskey that we got to you. So I was convinced, and I believed in Nigel, and I think that even though we did go slightly against your wishes, it delivered.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? The best gifts are the ones that you didn't even know you wanted.
Absolutely.
I also want to do a little bit of a shout out just to keep things geeky. I got a birthday cake.
Oh, yes.
Courtesy of Quality Cake Delivery, which are a company based in Tamworth. And this was a Settlers Catan cake.
Looked amazing.
It was incredible. A hexagonal cake that had like a printed onto icing kind of like actual game board, and I've taken a picture of it. So when I play Catan over Christmas, we're going to play that configuration of what was on the cake to see what that would be like. And you've got like the red and yellow dice by the side. You've got meeples, although there was too many. I think they must have had an excess. But anyway, that's just me being pedantic here. But like it was a really lovely cake.
Chuck it out.
I love that. Like I counted all of the meeples that were there, and there were too many. I'm afraid.
I was channeling Pete. That was the first thing I thought. I was thinking, oh, that's what Pete would say. And it also had like the cards next to it, and I also noticed that some of the cards were actually from like expansions, which was pretty cool.
What was inside the cake? Classic Vicky?
Classic Vicky sponge, Sam.
All very nice.
Right, birthday's out the way. Let's do presents.
Compliments of the season. Have we been good?
Oh, yes.
I haven't.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, maybe that'll be reflected in the gift that Santa got.
Is your gift quite lumpy and quite coaly?
I hope so. I like, free fuel. Lovely.
Free fuel.
Free fuel.
So, as is tradition every year, we do a Secret Santa for each other. We set a limit. We ask each other something that we'd like to receive from our secret festive gentleman. And then we unravel them and showcase them on the podcast. I'm going last because mine was the best this year. So, who would like to go first?
I would love to go first.
Okay, Pete, what do you ask for?
So, part of my gift to everybody this year was my Secret Santa was simple, which was I would like a video game that I can play an audiobook or podcast to. And as a reminder, an audiobook game is a game that is you can play you can listen to an audiobook and you can play the game, and the game has just enough to keep you entertained, but doesn't distract from the audiobook too much. Basically, it is a bit of a sweet spot. So it's a challenge, but it's let me go and pick it up. So it's been hand wrapped in this lovely, attractive bag.
That's great.
Oh, that looks very similar to.
All right. Amazon's been busy.
Oh, yeah. Amazon's been very busy, isn't it? Dear Peter, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from Father Christmas.
But it's boxed. That's
It is. It's a real physical thing. Hold on, let me pull it out. And it's a PlayStation game.
Is this going to be your very first PlayStation 5 game?
Yeah, possibly. Oh my goodness me! It is a PlayStation 5 game. How exciting! This is SnowRunner by Saber Interactive, published by Focus Home Interactive.
Oh, those are two brilliant names together on one box, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, aren't they? That is fantastic. So Saber and Focus. So really, most famously recently, Saber and Focus did the big game with Space Marine 2. And this is, I think, a follow-up to Mud Runner, which was extremely successful, and I think SnowRunner is meant to be even better. Yes, I would very much like to truck stuff across the snowy wastes while listening to probably 40k novels, if I'm being perfectly honest with you.
If we were to play this co-op, Pete, would you still be listening to an audiobook like in one?
Oh yeah, I'll be ignoring you. Yeah, I won't be on the headset. Yeah, I'll just be
right.
off we go.
Here's a review on Amazon. Masterpiece. Yep. If you have time, purchased this a few months ago. I'm a couple of hundred hours in, and suspect I haven't scratched the surface of this expansive and challenging game. Not quite a full-blown simulator either. Very therapeutic. I think of it as Skyrim with a smelly, oversized diesel truck as the main character.
Wow. Repetitive, but in a good way. Gameplay is what the Runner series is known for, like challenging, but like kind of like Skate in that way, like, you know, actually getting like good with the controls and getting good with the simulation.
It all comes back to Skate.
It all comes back. It always does,
doesn't it?
Thank you so much. This is I would never have thought of this game, but I think this will be perfect, and I will report back at a later stage.
So it is Christmassy time. We are opening presents, but we've also been playing some games. I've been playing a game that's not Christmassy, but I do want to talk about it. I hope that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Have any of you guys played a game called Despelote?
Despelote, but yes.
Despelote?
Yeah.
Let's call the whole
Yes.
thing off.
Indeed.
No, but it's been on my wish list for a huge amount of time.
Okay. So I similarly, I kind of had my eye on it for a while, and just recently I was kind of searching through kind of the PlayStation Store, looking at different stuff, and that came up again. I was like, you know what? Let's just go for it. So Despelote is a game from Panic, who are
Yes.
consistently one of my favourite publishers at the moment. They did Firewatch, they did Time Flies, which Sam, you mentioned, we've talked about before, and obviously, Thank Goodness You're Here, one of my best favourite games of recent years. So they're very much, a lot of their stuff, they're coming out with Big Walk, which we're all probably most excited for.
Cannot wait.
Mm-hmm.
So they were the publishers, and developer is kind of a duo of a guy called Julián Cordero and Sebastian Valbuena. It's interesting because it's a game that I've found quite difficult to define. It's a narrative game about football, and it's about the effect of football on a culture. So it's kind of like a football fan simulator type of game. If I had to define it, I'd say it's part game, it's part documentary, it's part autobiography, part simulation. It really is kind of lots of different things, and it's really like nothing I've ever really played before. So the game is set in the run-up to the 2002 World Cup in Japan and Korea, and you control an 8-year-old boy in a small town in Ecuador. Now, the 2002 World Cup was the very first World Cup that Ecuador successfully qualified for. So they'd been trying to qualify for the World Cup going all the way back to the 60s, the late 50s. But this 2002 was their first time kind of qualifying. And so this game tries to look at what the effect of that football has on the culture of, in this case, a town, but in terms of the people themselves. So it's a first-person game. As I say, you play the role of this 8-year-old boy, and the way the game plays out is you go through a selection of, probably the best way to describe it is kind of tableaus, which are monochromatic, and this will appeal to you, Pete. The art style of them, very similar to like Game Boy photography.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I know you really like.
Yep.
So you have these tableaus which kind of appear like these photographs in that kind of pixelated Game Boy photography style. But you then, in the first person, you can then move through the space and everything stays the same style, but it creates like this idea of this immersive photograph that you're moving kind of through. So for each of these different tableaus, you explore the environment, you interact with the environment to an extent, some of the people to an extent. You'll do things like you might find children playing football. You can go and join kind of certain people. You can join the kids playing football. You aren't tied to a specific task. So each of these tableaus is built around a football match in the run-up to them qualifying for the World Cup. So when the game starts, Ecuador have just beaten Peru, and they've now got 4 games left in order to try and qualify for their first ever World Cup. And so each of these tableaus is built around one of these games. So when you're walking around and exploring and interacting with people, one of the things you find is that you hear conversations, and when you're in, say, a square, you could interact with someone who's sitting there feeding the pigeons. Similarly, you might see some people talking about the football on the street. In each of the tableaus, there is a section where you can see the football. So in the first one, you can see like there's a shop with televisions all in the windows, and all the televisions have got the football on, and you can stand there and you can watch the football, and it's the live footage, it's the proper footage from the games. So you could sit there and watch it as if like you're this 8-year-old child staring up into this window watching the football. And it is a really lovely idea. You do get a sense of being a child in a world of adults. of like hearing conversations that you're not part of, and kind of only hearing part of them because you're tending to walk around and go and play with your friends, and you'll come back and you'll hear some of the things. And it's this element which I think is really interesting, this idea of the overhearing conversations, because yes, people might be talking about football, but often they're not. Often they're talking about actually wider political things that are happening in Ecuador at that time. So during that time, there was a lot of financial crisis, political unrest. And so what this game is trying to show is this idea of football becoming more vital as a result of that collective feeling pulling people together. So in one good example of this in terms of overhearing stuff and being that child was being in the child's house, and as you're walking around the house, you kind of walk in your parents' bedroom. The mother and father are in there. I think the dad's ironing some clothes and the mum's tidying up, and they're talking about work. And the dad, and this is kind of semi-autobiographical, Julián Cordero, or the developers, it's kind of based on his life, and his father was a film director, and in the game the father is talking about how the film industry in Ecuador is changing. And it was just fascinating to hear these conversations. Obviously you're not directly part of that, you walk out the room and you come back and the conversation has moved on. It's not waiting for you to enter in order to move on. And it was just I found that really fascinating to get this kind of glimpse. I do think I will go back to it because it took me a while to fully realize what it was that was happening. So I think I will go back at some point with that knowledge and sit there and listen to these conversations, because you would learn so much about that whole political landscape, that economical landscape that's happening at that time, and how that idea of football is bringing people together. So the thing it reminded me of, because obviously in England we do have a large football following. It is part of quite a large part of society, and it reminded me, that feeling of the excitement around it was similar to like the European Championships in 1996, where they were in England, and it was Euro 96, it was football's coming home, and there was a sense that the entire country was together as one. Disregarding what everything else had happened, everyone was here, and it was taking over everyone's lives. And you get a little sense of that this football, qualifying for the World Cup, is infecting is the wrong word, but it's infecting every element of people's lives, and it's influencing everything.
That sounds really lovely, Dan. This is not what I thought the game was going to be.
No,
I must confess, I saw a picture of it and I thought, all right, is it just a first-person football game? No. It's so much more than that, and it's not even that, I should say, by the looks of it. Can I just ask, in terms of what you were talking about there with regards to moving around and listening in on people's stories, is it the case that the game is waiting for you to interact with them, or is it the case that the world is going on and it's up to you which person you go to, but they're just going to carry on talking even if you're not there, and it's kind of your choice, really?
It's absolutely, the game is the world that you're in is continuing onwards. So as you walk away, those voices fade away. They're not they aren't activated. You don't go up to people and start to talk to them. There are elements that you can talk to people, but for that example, when I'm standing outside the shop watching the football, I can hear to the side people having a conversation. I can also hear the stuff from the TV, and that's the thing. And as I walk away, the audio then fades away. The audio is really fantastic in this. So I mentioned kind of Julián Cordero is one of the developers. The other one being Sebastian Valbuena. He's the composer for this, and some really lovely music for this as well. And I think the audio across the board is fantastic. Sam, have you played any of this?
Played it, completed it, mate.
Oh wow, there you go then.
Whoa.
I think that I played this and Time Flies in one evening. And Time Flies is the better game, but I've really not been able to shake Despelote in terms of how interesting it is and thematic I think it is as a game. I think it is trying to, for me, the football is kind of second nature. I think for me, it is a game about memory, and very, very specifically like how you remember things as a child. And for me, that is something that really struck me, because I think like as a child, you kind of, and what the game kind of explores is that as a child, you kind of frame your memory around big events and big things happening. Like Dan, you mentioned the Euro '96 championship, and I have this vivid memory of being in the back seat of my friend's car as Gareth Southgate missed the penalty, and we were listening to the radio, like travelling from one friend's house to another house. And I remember listening to that penalty shootout on that radio. And as you said, like, this is an autobiographical thing, and it's very much is this story framed around this big sort of cultural event, and it's kind of, in some ways, it's them trying to reconcile both this really amazing thing going on, but also this really terrible thing going on, and as a child not really being able to understand either thing. And I think that's kind of reflected in everything that the game does, like the two different art styles in terms of the locations and then the people within the locations. Again, like, for me, kind of reflects as a child how you remember places. Like, they're kind of like these grainy, fixed sort of these places that you don't really remember, but you remember the people, and you remember how they were and the impact that they had on you. And also those conversations that you have. Like, one of the early tricks that the game plays on you is that the game is entirely in Spanish, and everything pops up in these little subtitle boxes. So it doesn't play like subtitles along the middle of the screen. They just like pop up as you walk past conversations. You just see the translations and you hear the Spanish going. So for me, it replicated that feeling as a child of stumbling on conversations that, first of all, I didn't understand because I don't speak Spanish. And second of all, I had difficulty following along because the subtitles kind of moved around the screen in boxes. So again, I felt like that childhood experience of, oh, the adults are talking about something adult and I don't really understand what it is.
Yeah.
And even though it doesn't completely sink into me 100%, I still absorb some of that. Oh, there's a very adult conversation going on here, and I'm kind of getting some of the meaning. I'm not getting all of the meaning, but I'll just go and play football because I know that and I understand that as a child. And for me, that kind of trying to create and simulate that feeling of being a child, and like when that pressure of memory isn't on you as a child, like I feel like now as I'm getting older, I feel a lot more pressure to kind of, right, I've got to remember this. I've got to remember this. Like, this is really important and I've got to remember how important this moment is. But as a child, things just come at you and they happen. And then when you look back on it, you try and make sense of it from what you got. And for me, like, that's what this game is for the particular person who is like the lead designer and the director of it, is for them to really try and understand and digest this moment in their life and in their country. And for me, that's just fascinating. I mean, but as I said, like, the game isn't great. Like, I'm not going to come back to it for that, for like the mechanics or how you interact with people.
Yeah.
But that feeling, that capturing of what it's like to be a child, while a big grown-up thing is happening, both this like economic crisis, but also this big sort of football thing, and how he as a character channels everything he does through this lens of football. That's cool. I thought it's fascinating. Yeah, really interesting.
Can I go next?
You certainly can.
Yeah.
I couldn't make the last pod, but I hope you got my voicemail okay.
Oh, no.
We just took a punt.
So I asked for a graphic novel that was of the mystery genre, something like a whodunit, something like that, really. Something which keeps me guessing as I turn each page. Let's open. A bit of Foley.
Nice. Yeah, very excellent wrapping again from...
Okay. Oh. Okay.
Oh.
So this is by one of my favourite graphic novel writers, Scott Snyder.
Okay.
This is Tula Lotay and Scott Snyder's Barnstormers, a ballad of love and murder. Oh gosh, and it's one of my favourite eras in history, which is the kind of 1920s, 30s, particularly in America. Like, I think of, as a child, I loved the film The Rocketeer, which is set during that period. And
the age of daring do.
Yeah,
Red Baron.
exactly.
That era.
Yeah. A high-flying adventure story that's an intimate portrait of love and war and a meditation on the dangerous level of trust required in both romance and aviation. That is a difficult balance to get right.
Yeah.
Pilot Hawk E. Barron, great name, who claims to be a survivor of the horrors of the Great War, now lives his life adventuring from town to town in his plane, entertaining the common folk. His world changes when he meets Tilly, a young woman who shares his passion for aviation and adventure. They become a travelling act, delighting folks with their antics. Tilly even becomes Hawkwing's walker, climbing out on the wing of the plane mid-flight to perform death-defying acrobatics. Here we go, the mystery. When they learn they are suspected of a horrific crime, their journey becomes an even deadlier race against time. Along the way, they bond, confessing their secrets, and begin a romance in this lush, character-driven series that explores the early days of aviation and the evolving relationship and romance between two young pilots. This Bonnie and Clyde romp brings together writer Scott Snyder and the breathtaking illustrations of Tula Lotay, her longest sequential work to date. Wow. This looks to me...
What a really strange...
I know.
Like, note
backhanded
to end
compliment, yeah.
Yeah, it was really like...
She worked really hard on this.
Yeah.
Sequentially.
This strikes me a lot like Skyrim, but in a biplane.
Will it take you 100 hours to read?
100 hours, 100 pages, and I've barely scratched the surface. I thank you so much, Santa. Like, I love the fact that Santa has picked for me not something that's necessarily a superhero. It's a win for a writer I love, and also an era in history that I love, and a genre of graphic novel that I don't usually read. And having it as a subgenre of mystery is also something that's a real appeal to me. So thank you very much. Well done, Santa. Can I just also... It's really interesting, Dan. How long is Despelote?
As Sam said, he finished that and Time Flies in an evening. It is only short. It's probably about 2 hours or something like that. It's nothing really more than that.
Because I played a game the other day where I gave it a lot of time because I knew how long it would last, and I knew it was going to be a cool 90 minutes. And this is a pizza delivery, which is a video game from Dolores Entertainment. Mm-hmm. And what put me onto this game was a Polygon review I saw, which said that it's a game that is a cross between Death Stranding and a Studio Ghibli animation. And I was like,
okay.
What?
Okay.
In 90 minutes, it isn't quite that, I should say. Surprise, surprise. But it was enough to get me to play the game, and it's fairly cheap on the PlayStation Store. And the reason I wanted to talk about it is because I want to introduce a new genre of gaming for us to potentially workshop for future episodes.
Hit me with it.
So, very quickly, how many types of games have we? I was going to say birthed, but
games you can read to. Chuck them in your backpack. Games.
Breakfast games.
Yeah. I think that's it.
I think they're the big three. The big three.
Oh, isn't cup of tea games a genre? Game that you have a nice cup of tea to. Is that?
I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I know it sounds really weird, but like a subcategory I want to add is like a Twilight game. And what I mean by that is
there's like vampires and.
Well, I meant like
stuff.
pre that particular novella series. That kind of, I love that time of night where it's like the sun has just barely gone down. And
so you're talking like Night in the Woods.
Yeah.
What's that poetry game?
Kentucky Route Zero. I'm thinking
Kentucky
of
Route Zero.
Yep.
So
I kind of
so not because I'm not thinking like cozy, because when we think of cozy, often I think quite twee sometimes, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
Chris, I've got it.
What?
Just before bed games.
I think Twilight's snappier.
Oh,
that was good.
But
yeah, but that's like saying chuck it in your bag is not a great, but it, just before bed games.
Chuck it in your bag. Da-da-da-da-da. Just before bed.
Just before bed.
It's like almost like I'm going to wake up still playing the game without realising. But you know what I mean?
Well, it'll always be just before. I know. If you describe it as just before bed, I know exactly what you mean. Twilight, I'm thinking about Bella.
Right, okay. Of course. So, but at that point where like it's just like it's crossing over into the night where you're nearly going to sleep, but you're not quite asleep enough, or you've gone past staying awake and you've got that second wind, and it's like everyone else is asleep, and it's that world of possibilities where the real world and this kind of dreamlike world kind of coalesce. Yeah. And I also think that in that context, I can be a bit more forgiving with certain games because, like, I'm reading more into them than perhaps I would, like, in the middle of the day, say, for example. So I played this over 2 nights, and you play as this character called B, who all they need to do is deliver a pizza. And they've got this little Vespa scooter with a box on the back, and they've got 2 pizzas. One is for their delivery, and the second is a spare pizza. And over the course of the game, you're going through different environments, trying to make your way to this person you're delivering the pizza to. But the environments are like these kinds of dreamscapes, whether they be like flooded ruins or quite a dark, oppressive cityscape where people are just numb, and it's fairly empty, to like an autumnal coastal town, to a northern light lit industrial area in the middle of nowhere, to just fields of corn that you're kind of driving through. So there are some really beautiful vistas in this game. But I said you've got this spare pizza because the premise is that you carry this pizza out with you to kind of share a slice with the people you meet, and you chat to them. There are artifacts you encounter in the game which have a particular connection to B, and there's a little bit of puzzling there because you can't let the pizza get wet because otherwise you'll restart the level, more or less, or restart from your previous checkpoint. So there's some little things. If it's raining, you've got to try and move from shelter to shelter with this pizza out, say, for example. And it's skirting around the edges of a coherent narrative, if that makes sense. It's very elliptical because I'm filling in a lot of the gaps myself, because I'm playing this at night, and there's just something quite beguiling about a game like this at that particular point. And there are those Studio Ghibli touchstones. There's a moment where you're on your scooter driving on a railway line that's partially submerged underwater, like that scene in Spirited Away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there are some very beautiful moments in this game. It's a little bit clunky in places, I'm not going to lie. But again, you can be a bit. I'm personally fine. I'm a bit more forgiving with that at that particular time of day and with that duration. But I'm not necessarily going to say it's something you need to go out and play now. But if you're looking for a short and sweet meditative experience, which for me genuinely was just enough for a 90. Yeah, it was genuinely, because like the levels themselves are quite sparse, but in a sense that's quite nice because there's no kind of sense of like open world video gaming where you have to try and check everything to see where you're meant to go. Like it is literally there's enough there for you to kind of just take in the vistas and the feeling of it sensorially. But if you're looking for something meditative in 90 minutes, I can really recommend a pizza delivery. I really.
Would that be an audiobook game?
Has it got words that you need to pay attention to?
It has words. Whether you choose to pay attention to them or not is up to you. But there's not those long stretches between the words necessarily, Daniel, which is good for an audiobook game when you need those kinds of peaks and troughs.
I was just going to say, for a game that on Steam you can buy the soundtrack separately, I probably would say that maybe the soundtrack is a big.
The soundtrack
part
is
of-
really good. Thank you for reminding me about that
Yeah.
sound. The soundtrack, I genuinely love that, and that kind of slightly synthy quality to it. It felt very echoic of Minecraft in some senses. But
Interesting.
Yeah.
I will.
Whereas I feel like the soundtrack to SnowRunner is probably not.
No, I mean, I will happily listen to the music outside of this. Genuinely, like that combined with the aesthetics of this game makes it really arresting.
I think that's the lovely place that we're in with video games at the moment, right? Like
Yeah.
these smaller titles, a game like this isn't going to be made or funded by a massive AAA studio or publisher. And that's fine, because that's not what this game is about. Not all games have to be live service games with hundreds of hours of content and super high-end AAA visuals. Some of them can just be interesting spins on game mechanics, or they can be thoughtful vignettes that take a small amount of time for you to explore and go, yeah, I enjoyed that.
Daniel,
Yes, my turn now. As Sam was going last, let me grab my.
Oh,
Oh,
this hasn't been wrapped by Amazon. Oh, it's got scissors ready. What did you ask for, Dan?
So I took a leaf out of Chris's book, and I asked for a T-shirt. That's what Chris asked for last year. But I asked for a T-shirt, like a retro T-shirt with like a movie, TV, game, kind of maybe like obscure reference, some artwork kind of associated with that. Because some of my favourite T-shirts that I have are like that, and have been bought by you guys. So
I really hope it's Skyrim. Okay.
dark red, you see.
Oh, what's it?
So the problem I have is
Now
it'll
you've
be a
got
retro
to
T-shirt
guess.
and I won't get the reference.
Yeah.
yeah.
Here
we go.
Okay,
Here we go.
Here we go. It looks
Here we
very red.
It's very red.
It's very red.
Which
It's a very nice colour.
It complements the Santa hat you're literally wearing right now.
Yeah, that's your colour, Dan, I think, really.
It's a lovely T-shirt. Once again, off the back, I don't get the reference.
Right,
Or
okay.
maybe you should read the front.
Show it to us.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
is
I
that
think it's a video game reference.
is that Paradise Killer? Is that Paradise Killer? Oh, I made that up.
Is it? What does it say? Does it say anything on the tag?
Large.
No, other than limited edition clothing for gamers. So yes, it's a
Oh,
video game. So I
it
was
is a
right
game.
on that sense.
Okay, so, I mean, this looks like...
I mean, I really like it.
it's
I like
beautiful.
it.
So it's let's describe it. So there's two palm trees bending in the wind in front of a big yellow sun, but it looks like the sun has been sort of clawed out.
Yeah.
And then there's some like an abstract sea beneath it, which is like four or
Yeah.
five
Maybe like a
lines
Vice
of
City
sea.
type thing.
I would say, yeah, it looks kind of Vice City, a bit Outrun, a little bit actually, thinking about it, if it's the 80s, is this a Shenmue reference?
Oh,
I don't remember too many palm trees and kind of beach areas.
In
No, but a T-shirt that one of them might have worn.
Might have worn, yeah.
That's very true. That's very true. Happy days. That obviously pictures of this and all the gift will be going on to our Instagram, so you don't just have to rely on our
Terrible descriptions.
terrible descriptions of it. But thank you very much, Santa. I'm going to very much enjoy wearing this.
I like the fact that it is both festive and also like summery as well. It's all the seasons there in a t-shirt.
It's all the seasons in one shirt.
I have just spotted something which gives away the reference. Would you like to know the reference? You were right in that it's worn by someone in a game. This is worn by Ellie in The Last of Us 2.
Oh, that is such a good. That is such a good pull.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
yeah,
That is cool.
That's the best kind of gamer T-shirt, to be honest, because you can wear that in a situation where people who don't like games are there and won't, and will say, "That's a nice T-shirt," and you'll eye them up and go, "Do you know the reference, or do you
'Cause
just
I
think this is a
didn't.
nice T-shirt?"
The last time I saw that shirt, it was on a teenage girl.
Thank you very much, Santa.
I've been getting into the festive mood,
I can see.
and as the grey top and winning smile will tell you, and the thing I've been really enjoying and will continue to enjoy, I am sure, is we're recording this on the 2nd of December. So if you follow certain traditions, then you open advent calendars. I know that in loads of different families and in lots of different households, advent calendars are like a big thing. Dan, I know your household does advent calendars really well. I'm always a bit jealous when I see your advent calendars.
I bet Dan has one of those advent, candles that churches have.
I used to love those.
We have an advent candle every single year, and every single year we light it and forget about it, and it ends up burning for a few days, and you're like, okay, well, we can't light it again until, I don't know, Saturday.
You just treat it like the Olympic flame.
Every single year.
So what is it? What is it that we like about advent calendars? Like, what is it that we actually like about them?
What do you mean?
It's a new thing every day.
Yeah, right. It's a new thing every day, right? It's a new lovely thing every day. Either a nice, if you grew up in a family like mine, it was a nice picture of something behind a piece of cardboard, right?
It was in a piece of ecclesiastical art.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And that was it. Chocolate, how dare you, heathen? Sometimes
that's for Easter.
That's for. So, a lot of people have advent calendars with chocolate inside. Dan has one with, I don't know, Gucci watches and Diamante.
It's like the Oscars swag bag.
Yeah, it's like the Oscars swag bag of the advent calendar
24
world.
days.
Yeah.
Wow.
And in my household, I bought Alex a matcha one, which because she said, "Oh, I really want to explore the world of matcha." So I was like, "All right, here you go. Here's an advent calendar
for 25 days."
There you go. And what my favourite thing about this is, because Alex knows that I am big in the match game, and Pete, not to put him on blast, but I'm going to.
Go on.
Pete bought her an matcha advent calendar, but none of the kit. Not even a bamboo whisk, not even a bowl.
She's got to get that.
So Alex messaged me on day one and said, and I was just like, "Oh, how did the matcha go?" She goes, "Well, I whisked it together with a fork and it was all right."
Sam, I'm not doing all the work.
Have you got mugs as well, Pete?
You've done none of the work.
That's incredible.
Please buy her a bamboo whisk.
That's. But yeah, so there's that, and and I have something called Once Upon a Time in the Woods, which is an advent calendar of miniatures.
Oh,
so because you were running out.
Because I was running out, so I thought, well, I'll get some more. So it is marketed as an adventure calendar. So. This is by a company called Oakbound Studio, and you might have heard of them. If you're super into your miniatures, you might not have. So I doubt that the three of you have particularly heard about these folks, and that's fine. I heard about them through a friend of mine, and I get the feeling that a lot of people kind of hear through the grapevine about who they are. There's a few different places. There's a lovely YouTuber called Jordan Sorcery, which is a person who does a lot of sort of old hammer, mid hammer, miniatures stuff, RPG stuff. Basically, old hammer, mid hammer is kind of the Warhammer that I grew up with, rather than sort of like newer stuff. And I think that I seem to remember seeing a video by him about Oakbound, and I think specifically it was about a little box set that they were making, which is basically a spin on a game called Warhammer Quest, which Warhammer Quest is like one of my favorite games ever. I wish I still owned a copy of it. It's incredible. I owned it back in the day, and the day being the late 90s. What they have is Oakbound is this world. They have a couple of different game systems. One of them is called The Woods, and it's kind of based on medieval English, Scottish, Welsh folklore, and so it sort of, what happens if the Fae come back, so the spirits and the demons, what happens if they come back? Well, what happens is there's little fights between a bunch of different factions, things that look like rat people, things that look like goblins, things that look like gnomes, things that, you know, those kinds of things. And that's all cool. And Once Upon a Time in the Woods, the adventure calendar, is a spin-off game that is a kind of, as far as I understand, it's meant to be kind of like a lighter version of The Woods, whereby each day you open a box, and this thing is handmade, right? This is niche, right? This is a small cottage industry. I think they even say that on the website. This is a small team that is making this, and you can tell because it's lead and pewter miniatures. Right, that like spin casting, which is not how. Yeah, I mean that is old school miniature making, right? And it's great. I love that. It means the miniatures themselves have to be simpler. They have to be more. They stand up to a lot more damage. If I'm perfectly honest with you, like they are a lot more. They're a lot more fun for me to paint because you know they often have simpler poses or simpler levels of detail, that kind of thing. But this advent calendar is basically a black box. You open it up. You have to open the first one first and the second one second. But beyond that, every other one, I think except for the final 2 boxes, you can open in any order. And as you open each little box that comes within this black box, inside is a little metal miniature. Every single box. I think one of the boxes has some dice in it, to be fair. So you get a little metal miniature every single day. Little teeny tiny thing, maybe like an inch and a half tall. And the box that it comes in is a tile for essentially a dungeon map.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
That's really cool.
The first day you get, spoilers, you get essentially a character that's kind of like Little Red Riding Hood. And the game will be to move throughout all of these spaces trying to get from A to B, but this dungeon, as it were, these woods will be randomly created effectively based on a set of tiles that come with each of these boxes, and inside that box is another miniature. So you get like 20 odd miniatures throughout the Advent period of these lovely small, clearly hand sculpted casts, and they look really flavorful. They look some people are going to look at them and go, I really don't like the look of these things, but some people are going to see them and go, I love these feel super like that sort of like 80s 90s sculpts that I actually really, really love.
Lovely.
This thing was 40 quid, I think, when I got it. And that is a lot of metal and a lot of miniatures for that price. It comes with this game that I'm going to be playing, and I'm going to be playing and building it and stuff like that over the next 3 weeks, basically. And then I've got a full game that I can play over and over and over again every single time that I want to play it. I'm gonna have great fun like putting these little things together, and for my miniatures agnostic games, I'm going to have some really cool new miniatures. I'm going to have really cool extra miniatures that are really flavorful and really impactful. And it's really interesting to go on their website because you can see the amount of stock that they have left. And that is because when they make things, they make them in small batches.
Right.
Earlier this year, you might remember that I went to Salute 52, which is... Salute. And at Salute, there was a range of different miniatures providers, and one of them was Oakbound, and they had this single stall, and we, like my friend who turned me on to them, literally we almost ran, and this is not a man who runs, we almost ran to their thing because the guy who runs the company got in touch with him. It's called Aaron, because Aaron said, I'd like to buy this game of yours, which is called Thunder Under Mount Silence, which is the Warhammer Quest game I was telling you about. And he said, "Oh yeah, I'll have 15 copies with me. That's the last of the stock until I literally just get the forges up and running again." Right? There won't be many of these. Like, they do very, very small print runs of these things, and there really is something lovely about this in a world of sort of, very clean, very immaculately made models from all sorts of massive miniatures manufacturers, like coupled with a world in which we're increasingly seeing very, on the surface, superficially well put together AI slop in the world of imagery and generative AI and all that sort of nonsense that's happening. Thank God, not really happening in miniatures at the moment, though it's coming. To actually have this box, which is very clearly hand put together by people who really care about this thing that they're making, that is really wholesome and something I'd like really latch onto, and it's something I've really, really enjoyed. Just the experience of opening this thing that somebody has prepared for me, like a human being has gone, this is the thing I would like to make, and I'm going to make it and deliver it to the people that want it. And there's actually something quite, like almost you have this more of a connection, I think, with the people that are making these things in that way. So I've not bought any Oakbound stuff before. Will I buy more? I don't know. I'm going to play through this adventure calendar and paint these models and have fun with them and see what happens. But yeah, it's really made me want to watch more of like what Oakbound is doing and kind of keep up with. I mean, I'd love to see if they do another one of these next. Like, will they do a 26? Will they do a 26 miniatures thing? Who knows? Where will they take the woods next? Because it's really interesting to see what they're doing with this own IP that they have.
That sounds great. As you're opening each box with those first two, I think it is it teaching you parts of the rules? Are you getting a little twist on the rules of each box? Because I presume then, therefore, depending on which box you choose to play afterwards, you're going to be playing a different version of this game compared to other people playing this. The probability of that is going to be extremely high. Yeah,
so box one is like your first miniature, and it comes with a QR code, effectively, where you scan the QR code and it takes you to a website and it says, right, this is chapter 1, and it gives you a bit of an outline of what's going to happen. And then chapter 2, which I opened today, is like, right, okay, here's your dice. That's the box that we opened. You get 3 very nice looking dice inside, and you scan the QR code and it basically tells you the outline of the rules. There's a special card that is printed in the box itself, which gives a very, very brief outline of the sort of core mechanics. And then after that, box 3 through, I think, like 23 maybe, you can open in early order, and so the adventure will be different each time. So I don't know how that's going to play out. I'm really excited to find out. But it builds as if it is a dungeon, but it is the woods, effectively.
But are you going to have to keep it on your table for 25 days?
So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open each of the boxes each day and look at the lovely model and like have fun with that, and sort of like and see the really cool new tile that I've got. And then
do it all in a one.
And then, Alex has basically said that she wants to play that with me on Christmas Day. Like, actually, she wants to sit down and play that game on Christmas Day. Because that will be, as I say, I think that will be a lot of fun. And I'm keen to see, and I think I'll report back at some point about it, of like, is it a game? Is the game fun? Is the game actually enjoyable? But also, would I play it again? Maybe it's a one-off, right? Maybe it's just something that, you have fun with it one time and that's great. Or maybe it does end up being something that, I want to keep and move on with and keep, coming back to time and time again.
All right, okay, Sam. Apparently you've picked the best thing ever. You've hyped yourself up.
Can I just say,
Johnny Humble,
for the next 25 years... This is it for me. This is as long as...
Hang on, you've not included numbers, Sam.
Oh, true. Oh, absolutely. I think that's a bit more difficult in CEX because I think they categorize all numbers together, whereas alphabetically they're all separate. But so yeah, for this year, I asked for someone to go into a branch, their local branch of CEX. We picked a letter at random, which was the letter C for cat, or Charlie, if you want to get NATO about it.
Show off.
And to buy me, I said 3 DVDs because you can get a lot of DVDs for 20 quid at CEX, and I didn't want a lot. And to buy me some things from the C section of CEX. Just as a bit of context, I just want to kind of like set the bar for films that it could have been. I've got the top 10 films that begin with C here. Casino Royale.
Are they all carry-on films?
No. Casino Royale, Casablanca, Cruel Intentions, Cape Fear, Citizen Kane, Cool Hand Luke, Carrie, Conclave, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and Cinderella at the top. No carry-ons in the top 10. So let's see what. It's quite the heft.
Gosh,
Wow.
Oh my God.
This package.
that looks like in a film or in The Wire that'd be holding a big bag of Coke.
Yeah.
Well, that does
Well, it
begin
does
with C.
Exactly. Can you imagine?
Right, okay.
Santa panicked, went into CEX.
Oh, and this is amazing.
Okay, bonus points for Santa. Are they all individually wrapped, Sam?
There's
Whoa.
2 gifts. No, one says bonus gift on it. So I'll open
What?
that last.
Bonus gift. Bonus gift? Nobody
Santa
told me about
showboating.
bonus gifts.
Well, I'm thinking mine were probably quite cheap.
Right.
Oh, a bag of Maltesers at the top.
Straight in.
It was very cheap.
Yeah.
Right, okay, here we go. So there's 3 films in here. The first one
Here we go.
is from the makers of Gladiator and the Da Vinci Code. The New York Times called it truly gripping. It's The Company.
Oh, I've not heard of that.
I'm not familiar.
Chris
with this
O'Donnell,
one.
Alfred Molina, and Michael Keaton.
Oh,
Alfred Molina is genuinely one of my favourite actors.
He's incredible.
So that's a great pull. It's in my region. That's great. Next, here we go.
Here we go.
Oh, we have Academy Award winner Al Pacino is an ex-drug lord fighting to escape his violent, treacherous past in this crime action tour de force. From one of my favourite directors, Brian De Palma. It's Carlito's Way.
Oh,
Carlito's Way.
Also starring Sean Penn.
Sorry, Sean.
Right, and what might or might not be the last one. Oh, hang on.
Is this going to be a clean sweep?
And a bag of Haribo.
Almost as if Santa was worried you may not like the DVDs and thought they would soften the blow.
And this is
Very
why I'm
much
going to do
sweeping
this
you up.
for the next 25 years. And then, oh my God. This is the best. This is absolutely the 3 best films. The world's greatest marksman
Yeah.
is now a marked man.
Okay.
It's Wesley Snipes in The Contractor.
Oof. Ooh.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Is that like Con Air but on a tractor?
I don't know, but it looks absolutely fantastic. All those 3 films are right up my street. And then, right, bonus gift time.
Bonus gift.
What do we
Oh,
think
my
it
word.
is? What do we think it is? Begins with a C. It's got to begin with a C.
I mean,
It's got to be a carry-on classic. Come on.
yeah, it's got to be a carry-on movie. Come on.
Oh, hold on. Oh, right, okay.
Awesome.
Yeah. This is a great shout, and it's a great film, and I did used to own it, and I don't own it anymore. and it is one of the best animation films, probably of the last. When did it come out? 2010. So the last 15 years. It's Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Oh, great film. I remember watching that for the first time at yours, Sam, when you were living in Orkney.
Yes, it's such a surprising.
It's a great film.
It's amazing. What a great film! Thank you, Santa, for not just 3 films, 4 films. Oh, nearly running the gamut from U to 18. I might make that a stipulation next year. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Like a U, a PG, and a 12.
Pete, that little look on your face of oh, this sounds like hard work. This is what we've dealt with for your gifts for years.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. That's one of the best.
So shall we reveal who got all the gifts?
All of them.
All of the gifts.
Of them. Well, we all know, don't we? I think I know.
I've actively tried not to think about it.
I think I know.
Okay.
Well, who do you think then, Sam?
I think the only person who's this Christmassy to wrap up in this paper is Daniel Frost.
Well, you're not wrong. I have to say, I have never spent so long in a branch of CEX by myself in my life.
Did you start to smell? You know how CEX has a particular scent? Did you start to actually smell of it when you left?
Pretty much. I spent literally a good 45 minutes in a small section of the DVDs.
I was going to say, because
CEX.
Spending a long time in CEX is not a strange thing, but spending a long time in one particular section is slightly odd.
Yeah. So I got your gift. The bonus, the Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs, because I wanted to get something for you to watch with Hugo. I gave myself a couple of conditions. So I wanted to get you a TV show, which is The Company.
Oh, is that a TV show?
Yeah.
It looked quite chunky.
Yeah, so that's a series. I wanted to get you a TV show. I wanted to get you a good film. I wanted to get you a bad film. I also gave myself the condition that they weren't allowed to be on streaming services. So none of the films there
Blimey,
are currently on any streaming services.
You made this hard.
So you can't watch them without kind of... Other than I think one of them's on Sky Movies, but again, that's not really a streaming service. So none of them are on any of those.
Are the Haribo Maltesers limited edition as well, Dan?
Yeah, those. Yeah, but you can't get them on streaming services either. But the idea I had with the bad film, I thought, well, there are certain criteria for a proper bad film. I think most of the time it needs to be the something. They're the good ones. It needs to be with the something.
Yeah.
It tends to need to have a lead actor who's kind of a cult figure and probably not suited for the role that he's got in this film. I think Wesley Snipes fits that. And it also should have an unusually good actor in it. And it does also star Charles Dance. So I feel that's ticked every box there.
I love Charles Dance.
Yeah, I was walking around there with handfuls of DVDs. I was like, which one am I going to do? Do I go for the Carol Vorderman Sudoku DVD game? Oh, I don't know.
Dan, were you ever at all tempted to kind of completely ignore Sam's rule and just get as many DVDs as you could for 20 quid in the C section?
No, because I also realised I'd have to go up to the counter and buy all of these random DVDs.
Oh yeah, of course.
Beginning with C. Yeah, and then there's Carlito's Way, which I've never seen, but I know is
it's
a very good film. So
The Contractor sounds absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
I mean, you just read bits of this paragraph and you just go, yeah, I'll watch this. It sounds brilliant. And then the last sentence is his only hope is a 12-year-old girl.
That's the best bit.
Yeah.
What?
The entire back of the box is all about this hitman, and then the last sentence is, oh, also he's got a 12-year-old girl as a friend.
Is this their first sequential film, Sam?
No, but it's their longest.
Wesley Snipes turned up all the way through for this one, which is good of him.
Is that a direct quote from the box?
But yes, it didn't cost a lot of money, so I got you some sweets as well.
Thank you. That's the kicker.
Incredible.
I'm going to have a guess because my gift came with someone's name on it.
Is it now, Dan? Is this a person who historically has not been very good at anonymizing themselves for a Secret Santa, or have I unduly thrown them under the bus right now?
Well, the envelope came with someone's name on it, and it also had my name on it as well, which made me think: could this be someone just accidentally putting their name on it, or is someone trying to play a ruse on me here?
We have done that to each other before.
I've become very paranoid about these things, trying to figure it all out. Because it also didn't help that the day after we recorded, I got a little random text from Pete saying, "Oh, by the way, what's your address?" About like 10 seconds later, he sent a message to all of us saying, "Can I have all your addresses, please?"
Yeah.
So mine has Sam's name on it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I'm guessing it's Sam, but it wouldn't surprise me if this is Pete's way of like, I'm going to put Sam's name on it and just pretend that's the way it is. So yes, I'm going to go with Sam.
But it's written in my handwriting.
With a hint that it might be Pete.
And you are correct. It was me.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you very much, Sam. It's wonderful.
Brilliant. Yes. If anyone is interested, I mean, it's from the PlayStation Gear shop, right?
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's good stuff, but the Gear shop closes on December 31st. So
oh my god, really?
So there's completely? A big like so I mean, not to like detract from it, but if you're up for a really good PlayStation branded bargain, and there are some amazing t-shirts on there. There's one thing I really wanted to get you, Dan, but it was out of budget, which is the red flannel shirt that Joel wears from The Last of Us. You can get it for like just over 20 quid from the shop at the moment because it's all on a massive sale. But yeah, it's from that, but it's kind of like all sales are final, no returns.
Yeah.
So it was a bit, but the thing is like that shirt, once I sort of discovered it, is everywhere. But that is like the official Ellie shirt from The Last of Us.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
So I think by that reckoning, it's fairly obvious who's what for you then.
So Gunga Din, for you, I went onto Reddit and found like an audio book game, basically thread where people were talking about audio book games.
Yep.
And a lot of them were like, the games that were mentioned, although I can't think of them now, like, yeah, he's played that. Has he already seen this? And then I started getting paranoid. Has he already bought this game? But I watched loads of trailers and reviews of this particular title, and people just really enjoy, just as you were saying, that kind of almost slightly mundane routine way. But there's plenty. It's actually just there's just enough skill required to maneuver around roads and things, but it's actually a genuinely fun experience. I mean, I kid you not, their trailers are all about how good the physics are in it and how true to life it is. Like, they really front and center that, like they did in the back of the box. But it genuinely looks like a really fun experience to just chill and relax on four different landscapes. Not all of them are snow, strangely. But yeah, it looks really, really super chill, like open world, sandboxy style.
Yeah, I've always been interested in playing the Runner series. I think I gave Mud Runner like 5 minutes of my time, but it was one of those games that I think at the time it was like playable on Steam Deck, but not without a lot of work. Whereas like the actual console versions of those kinds of games tend to be more like they've actually thought about the controls a lot more. So I'm really, really interested. And also like the Mud Runner, I don't really want to muck around in a load of mud, but I do want to muck around in a load of snow. That sounds great. For me, when I got you the graphic novel, obviously Scott Snyder. I mean, it's Snyder, but he's the man very rarely misses. And I wanted to get something that was, like you say, like kind of outside your wheelhouse a little bit, of like something that you probably wouldn't have bought you, because that's the other thing with like graphic novels and stuff. You mentioned like you know, oh, have they already got the thing? But like that's one of the problems with graphic novels. It's very difficult to actually see like, well, what do you have? And in an increasingly digital world, that is getting harder and harder and harder. But yeah, I sort of saw this and thought to myself, okay, I think there's a good shout that they won't have this. But also, I think Snyder does good stuff. Also, I think it had a lot of Amazon money behind it, which means they probably spent a lot of time and effort on the art. I mean, it's the longest sequential work that this person's worked on. So
it looks beautiful, the art, I should say. Just skipping through it.
Yeah, the art looks, really, really beautiful. And you can see when you see like really high-end comic book publishers and like their prestige titles where you go, oh yeah, that looks good. You can feel the money in it. Like, yeah, I really wanted to get something that was really, a sight for the eyes, basically.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Next time we speak, Christmas will have been and gone.
Oh my gosh.
That's where we'll be talking about our top 5 of 2025. Will the contractor be part of that? Who knows?
Who knows? Wesley Snipes, Lena Headey, Charles Dance, the contractor.
Good Lord.
And a 16-year-old, no,
a 12-year-old
girl.
Yeah, holding up the acting side of the things.
Yeah. Next time we will be doing our top 5, where we kind of all bring our own top 5 to the table, and then we'll kind of hash it all out until we get our top 5. I already kind of know some of what's going to be definitely in there, I think.
Cool.
From this year.
I'm not sure, because I thought about it the other day and I was like, well, definitely Thank Goodness You're Here is in there. And I was like, well, actually, no, that was last year.
That came out last year.
Yeah, I thought I had it in my head it was this year, but like, okay, so I have no idea what's going to be in mine yet. So
better get thinking.
Yeah.
So if you've got a top 5 that you'd like to share with us, or a top 1, just get in touch. Then you can do by going to @stayinginpod on Instagram. You can also email us, stayinginpodcast@gmail.com. If you are panicking, you don't know what to get someone, you don't know what to get for someone for Christmas, then we can help you out. Don't worry, we got you.
Yeah, we got it.
We got you, babe.
Yeah,
easy street.
Just go to either our curated page on Steam. There'll be tons of games that you can buy and give to someone, or you got a little bit of time over the holidays. Give yourself a little bit of something.
Yeah,
a little bit
of something. A little bit of.
So all the video games we've ever covered are part of our Steam curation page, and if you want to know more, each of them links back to the show, so you can hear us prattling on about it. And the same is for board games as well. So recently, a friend of mine asked me, I need some board game recommendations. And when you just like, I was in the soft play centre, and I was like, I want to tell you about how good Cascadia is, but just listen to this podcast. You can do the same in BGG, Board Game Geek. Again, we've got our curated page where you can see all the board games that we've spoken about, and links back to the show so you can hear them. So if you're looking to get a game for someone, either video or board, we've got you covered. And then if you're looking for music over this festive period, we've got our Spotify playlist. There's not really that much festive music on it, but again, you might not be doing anything festive. Yeah, absolutely. Some of us may say that Christmas meal is a battle to conquer. Just like
I was ready for you to go with that.
So you can listen to the music. So we've got you covered. We got you gifts. We got you something to do, and we got you music to do it to. And also company if you want to get in touch and see what we're up to.
Yep.
So we'll put pictures of all the Secret Santa gifts on Instagram. The Haribo Maltesers won't be there, mainly because I've already had quite a bit of the Haribo already.
Yep, good
Gone straight to your head.
And I think that's about it.
I think you're right.
Yeah. So well done. we'll see you in 2026.
See you in 2026.
And
Merry Christmas, everyone.
yeah, Merry Christmas,
Merry
folks.
Christmas. And remember, on the big day itself, pants are very much optional.
Take care.